What's up, guys? Welcome back to That's So Dev. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. We have some tea to get into. But before we get into the tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That's So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including YouTube. We're kind of popping over there. Now, y'all, this tea is kind of piping. It's kind of hot. I've been working. As you can tell by this title, I'm here to talk about that work I've been doing. And, it's been a long time coming for me, especially in the space of music, since I was 4, singing on the choir. It has been such a long journey since I was in the living room with my karaoke machine belting out Yolanda Adams. It's been a long time since I was in band from 6th grade all the way up to senior year, in symphonic band in high school. It's been a long time of music being present in my life, being a baseline, being a saving grace. Everything I do, I also do it with music. Got to. As you should. But if you don't, I respect wherever you are at. It's not my business. But look, I have been working on music for a couple years now. And, a lot of these years just have been figuring out what I wanted to sound like and what I want to write about, because I have so many things that I would like to write about. And there are some things that, not that I can't write about it, but I'm not ready to write about it. And a lot of it is because, for me personally, there has to be something behind it. I'm not just writing just to write. Why am I writing? And that's always something that I'm asking myself. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing YouTube videos? To bring people the same joy that I got coming home from college classes at the end of the day, wanting to relax and be in my room after socializing all day and just being in the moment and feeling the joy of watching my favorite reactor react to my favorite song. My goodness, what a time that was. That's really my why for doing YouTube. Obviously, I enjoy it. There's no doubt about it. It's hard work. Why do I do this podcast? I do this podcast simply because I wanted to create a platform where the brand was me simply being myself, the self that was hidden behind fear and trauma. I created this brand out of liberation of the person that I felt I could never be. I created this brand to honor my father and the last name that is Sowell's. So, as I'm beginning to embark on this music journey, as I prepare to eventually release this EP, God knows it's been forever, I'm taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. But as I gear up to release this music, I'm faced with the question of, why are you doing? I'm creating music because music has saved my life, as well as a million other people. Millions. You kidding? But also, music is my life. Crazy, right? I mean, so many different perspectives here, child. Music is my life. As I said earlier, everything I do it with music. I'm editing, I do it with music. I'm walking, I do it with music. I'm eating, I do it with music. I'm driving, I do it with music. I'm recording, I do it with music. I think you get the idea. So it's no surprise to me, it's no surprise to anyone that knows me that I have music coming out. And I am creating my first EP. And I have been for years. There's been a lot of songs where I've created things, and in the moment at the time, they sounded great. And, as time passed, it was just kind of like I just kept making better things. And a lot of the journey for me, it has been finding myself through the trial and error of creating songs and writing songs. I had to write those songs that I didn't feel were as good so that I could make the better ones. So there was always a purpose to it, even if those songs still don't mean as much to me. And they'll always mean something to me, but sometimes there is a disconnect because maybe the purpose of that song was to help me learn how to structure something different, or maybe to try out some new sort of flow or texture to, the vocal. Who knows? So, the journey of really creating music, oh my goodness, it's so complex. And even if you're a person who wants to do it, who hasn't even really began taking the steps, it can seem overwhelming. And that's why, I've realized when a lot of artists, when they create music, and a lot of people, they have this instant gratification. They want it now, now, now. And even I've been a person where I'm like, well, where's the music? Because when artists are in what a lot of people would call their prime, you'll often see that artists releasing every 1 to 2 years, and they're kept on a structure. And I always use Fifth Harmony as an example because from 2004, no, 2015 to 2017, Fifth Harmony released 3 albums. 15, 16, 17. That's an album cycle a year, but that's also 3 albums technically in less than 3 years because the label keeps an artist on a schedule. And that's how it has been forever. It's true. That's just how it has been. So, I think that fans, they get used to this releasing style, and that is not due to the artists personally. That is due to the labels and wanting to keep an artist out there so that way they can continuously make that money and rise. And whether it's in good faith or not, you know it does work. You can't act like the strategy does not work. It makes things happen, but that again does not tend to be the point. Anywho, so look, it's just the fact that music does take time. It takes time to craft, to create, and sometimes you need to work on a song, you need to walk away, you need to work on something. Maybe you need to not work on a few songs for a couple days or whatever, and just keep coming back to it. And I've gotten to a point to where I've experienced a lot in life, but I have never known how to really like get all of it on paper and to craft that into songs. My problem was getting to the point. It's true. A bitch could not just get to the point. A bitch could not get to the root of it to write a song that can explain the experience rather than tell a person the whole experience in detail. So, learning to write and to structure things was very much a thing. Just learning how to, for me personally, craft songs that had substance to it. I didn't want to just create something that, oh, just because this sounds good, yeah. Because there was a lot of times where something just sounded good. And I'm like, um, there's a disconnect with that. So, with everything that I do, even now, it's become one of those things where if I'm not writing about an experience that I have experienced, it's just not going to work for me. So even if it's a pop song, even if it's whatever it is, it's always going to be about something I've directly experienced. I'm telling you, creating music is crazy. But also, with that being said, you have to let yourself also experience life in order to create music. And obviously, like I said, I have been through a lot in this lifetime, child. But like sometimes things do have to process for you. A big thing for me, also, I've been in therapy since 2016, but I go every week and I just process so many things. And it really allows me to write better because I can really see through the cloudiness of the anxiety. But also sometimes I let the cloudiness of, the anxiety and, and I'm gonna give you an example actually. So I originally had this concept of this project called Panic, and a lot of the songs that I wrote were actually in the midst of panic attacks. And I most likely will still use that. I'm not using it now just because honestly, as you grow, you shift into a different direction with things. But it was just the idea, kind of like the realness of it. I felt like the title really reflected what the songs were about. The songs were really about panic, and they were written in the midst of panic. So, you know, music is too funny because you just be airing your shit out. I mean, you air other people's shit out too, but you just be airing yo shit all the way out. Be like, here's my fucking tea, please. Releasing music is scary because all people do is pick your shit apart. But honestly, after YouTube has already started to continuously elevate literally every day, I've kind of gotten over that because there was a massive fear because when you release music there is this stigma with it that you want to be the greatest pop star on earth, you want to be this famous person, ooh ah, like bitch, relax. I literally want to make music so that way I can be in my bedroom and perform my own goddamn concerts. Be fucking for real. Like, bitch, I want to do some shower choreography to my own shit. Like, what are you talking about? It is not that deep. But, like on a real note, like the music is just to release. It's a form of therapy, right? It's definitely one of my tools and resources for self care. And, it's just a nice, healthy old balance. I'll share some things with my therapist if I remember to, child, because my mom moves a mile a minute. And that's a big reason why I move on from song to song. Like my ADHD be going crazy. Sometimes I can't spend too long on a song. I have to block out an X amount of time to spend on the song and then move on. Because no, mm-mm, not today, baby. But I have this new EP that I've began to work on over the last year, and It's hilarious because the entire project, there's a vast amount of people who, if they heard it, they would just instantly know what it is about, who it's about. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I will personally never mention that name again. No shade. No shade. But let me tell y'all something. This new project, it's called Departed. It is about the departing of two friends, but generally about a departure of friends. You can call it a friendship breakup EP. That's the kind of tea it's serving. But it's not going to be. You know what? It's definitely serving you some pop and R&B teas down. It is. I think the approach to it vocally is for sure an R&B style, but some of the beats can push it into a pop area. But that is essentially what it's about. It's about a departing of friendships, of a friendship, because friendship breakups are terrible. But within that, I experienced a lot of things that inspired some of the best songs I've ever created. And I felt it would be a disservice to not release those. And a big reason why I'm even doing these EPs, it's because my therapist honestly clocked me. She was like, "What's the point in working on all of this stuff if you're not going to release it?" And I was like, "Oh, well, clock me, why don't you?" And so I just want to, you know, I don't want to throw everything on one little project and throw it out there, because for me personally, again, the music means something and there has to be something behind it. Even if it's going to be a project, it's not going to be a bunch of songs on a project that have substance but also don't make sense. So there are two songs that I'm currently working on, but they're not from the same projects. They can't possibly be because they don't make sense. So I'm going to release both of those songs. One of the songs, they're going to come out summertime next year. The other one, I'm going to focus on after I get this next song out. And hopefully, I will be collaborating with one of my good friends. We will see. And yeah, I mean, that's just where the focus is for now, because so much of the focus has been getting a whole EP out, and has essentially, it has split attention. So I just kind of compare it to my baking. Honestly, I used to bake 7 or 8 things at a time for holidays, and I would not get the quality that I wanted. And once I started to diminish the amount of things that I was baking, I was able to give each thing its own personal time to craft it. So that's what I'm going to do with the music. I'm going to focus on a song at a time because I already know the songs that I'm going to put on these projects. Now it's really just getting these songs finished up, mixed, and mastered. So, in due time, I will have this EP out and ready to go. It is called Departed. I'm very excited about it. Um, it's it's crazy because obviously what inspired it was, and obviously to people, if you know, you know, that's what I mean, obvious, hello. But it's one of those things where it was maybe about a decade friendship, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like you can only deal with someone who doesn't want to grow as long as you can. You can only deal with that for so long before you have to move on. And you have to say, this is no longer my responsibility. It wasn't to begin with. But if you want to grow, you have to recognize, hey, maybe I've outgrown this person, and surround yourself with people who want the same things, maybe not want the same things out of life as far as career goals or things like that, but people who want more for themselves, generally speaking. And, I think that getting rid of this person and surrounding myself with the very people that I knew I needed to be around, it changed everything, and it really put me in a position to, for one, look back on the friendship, process all of those things that I had experienced, and maybe the things that I had overlooked because this person was so close to me, and re examine those experiences and truly see it for what it was. Because at the time, I made an excuse for the person. I moved past it, I overlooked it, I didn't address it. So now, at this point, it's kind of like, I can see it with a clear mind. This isn't a blind spot anymore. I truly feel like this EP, it had to come first. It truly did. I felt it in my spirit. So many people were like, this should have been out. This should have been out. This should have been out. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? And a lot of people are joking. I know that. It's just like, whoa. I needed to take this time because sometimes when you are in the midst of healing, sometimes you can't really process things because of the overstimulation of it all, and the exhaustion of it all, and the depression of it all. Like, you know what I mean? It took a couple years to process those things that I now see for what they are. And it has allowed me to insert those feelings into songs. And that's when my songs became good. There's a whole lot of space for great. So I recognize that I am allowed to put out songs that maybe I don't feel are the best that they could be. And it's not that I didn't do my circumstantial best, but I just kind of recognize that you are allowed to have trial and error. You are allowed to fail. And a big reason why people don't get their projects off the ground or even out into the world is because they want every little thing to be perfect. And I tend to be that person. I want this to be this to be this to be this. Start getting the content out. My problem with YouTube is I wanted everything to be a certain way. So I had a friend who was just like, if you don't start it now, you'll never do it. Shout out to Noah, especially if you're listening, sir. Iconic. He said, if you don't do it now, you'll never do it. And I went and did it. I got help from The Potential. If you don't know who The Potential is, they are iconic. They're on YouTube. They definitely helped me, especially with, doing picture in picture and editing videos and all of that stuff. So I have to get a shout out to those two, especially. Like, it was crazy. I just started the channel. I had no plan, didn't know what I was doing. I said, no more planning, just do it. And I just started posting videos, and it was fun. It was fun, and it was, it wasn't anything where it was kind of like, oh, like, this is a serious thing. Like, this is a YouTube channel that really has potential. Like, it wasn't even about that. It was just having fun because I wanted to do it. And then after a while, I did it for about a year and a half before I was like, whoa. After me just diving in and starting without having everything perfect like I wanted it, the perfect that I wanted ended up coming to me in the midst of just doing it. I didn't have to prep it beforehand for it to happen. I started that channel. It got me from point A to point B. I restarted a new channel. It's the current channel. Look at the channel. Cohesive in every single way. Look at the channel. It's phenomenal to me. Look at the color schemes. Look at the videos. Look at the playlists. Look at the tabs. Look how the merch matches the brand and the brightness and the boldness. Look at the shit. And none of that shit happened because I wanted it to be perfect before I even started doing it or getting it out. I just started doing it. And as time went on, it came to me. So with this music, I'm not going to hold on to it waiting for it to be perfect, to be perfect, to be perfect. I'm going to release it. And I'm just going to keep releasing it. And I'm going to let what I want come to me. Because that's how this is working for me. It's iconic, I gotta say. It's absolutely iconic. And it's really just, to me, about having the patience and really trusting in the idea that you're going to take all of this shit one day at a time. It's in my bio on my social medias. One day at a time. One moment at a time. When I'm able to do that, whether it's in real life, whether it's for my music, whether it's for YouTube, the quality comes out better. And maybe the quality is not immediate. That whole YouTube channel, I find it cringy as fuck now. Look the quality of my videos now compared to that channel. Oh, we have a long way to go, but look at the growth. And that's something that I also say, and I'm even applying this to the EP, because it's really about taking my time and creating the quality that I want with this craft. I started my bakery page on Instagram. When look at the first couple of posts compared to what I post now on So Sweets. Oh my goodness. Like, it was so amateur at the beginning. But to me, it wasn't about me posting the best things because I knew the best was ahead. So I kept posting and posting and posting. And now you see a whole journey of documentation of growth. You see that on So Sweets. You see that on my That Sowdev Instagram. You see from the very beginning when I had a yellow, black, and gold. Uh, that was my brand. The brand color was black and gold. I was too afraid at that time to really do something bold that speaks to me. The blues, the purples, the pinks, that is me. And I changed that within probably 2 months. What I wanted came to me. So relax. Maybe this is your sign too. Just relax, baby. It's going to come to you. Not when you want it, but when you need it. Hold on to that faith. It is not a very easy thing. And people, they're like, how do you stay so positive? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know, I, you know how people say happiness is a choice? I don't think that you can just choose to be happy, but I think you can choose to make the decision to hold on to hope. And I do that every day when I wake up. So when I step inside of a studio, when I write down those lyrics, yes, baby, you already know what the tea is. That shit is real as hell. So all of that energy I've just put into the songs that I've been creating for this EP. And the beautiful thing is, y'all, I dance in my fucking room now to my own music. Isn't that crazy? I do. Once I just started to, instead of just writing it down and moving on, let's write it down, let's create demos, let's get into a studio, let's do something. Once I started just doing something, instead of having everything perfectly planned out, baby, look what happened. Now I'm dancing in my room like I want it. It came to me. Wild. This EP is the start of something very not new for me. It is a homecoming to me because music is my first love, and it always will be. So when this comes out, and get this, right? I've been saying this for years. Whenever I turn 30, I'm going to release a project. And I'm going to do exactly that as I step into year 30. It's wild to think that year 30 is on the way, but let me tell you, the growth has been insane. With age, it has made my songs better. It has made the way that I think so much better, to the point where, oh my goodness, I pick and choose my battles. I conserve my energy. Like, even if I manage to take on something or a person that could be stressful or in the past I would see as triggering, oh my goodness, I know how to keep my bubble intact. And every ounce of this energy is, it literally is in this music. So I'm very excited to share my first EP, Departed, with my friends and family. And whoever tunes in, tunes in. I really honestly do not care. I'm just excited to do this for me. I love me some me, y'all. But y'all, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I mean, we've been talking for a hot minute, and y'all know I love to have conversations with you guys. I mean, every time we have a conversation, it's just like talking to my bestie, you know? But yeah, that's really all I have to say, guys. I do appreciate you. We're wrapping up 2025, and 2025, 2024, I'm kind of ahead of myself because what's coming in 2025 is going to be crazy. I'm going to see a lot of the fruits of my labor really coming to the surface next year. Meanwhile, I'll also still be, working, because that's what a bitch does. I'm always working. I'm always doing something. Literally. People are like, why didn't you text back, bitch? Do you want a list in regards to the reasons why I did not text you back? If somebody didn't text me motherfucking back, look, look, the friends that I have, the shit that we do, it is what it is. We will see each other soon. We check in from time to time, and that's really just that. But yeah, guys, new year, new quality, new look, refreshed, reclaiming my time. And that's what this new year is all about. So stay tuned. More to come. And again, make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at That's Sowdev, on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including YouTube. We kind of popping over there. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you drink some water, eat some good food, take care of yourselves. So much going on in the world, so much. Take social media breaks, please. Because if you don't take care of yourself, who the hell will? All right? I'm hopping off here, and I will see you guys on the next podcast. Peace.